The sports world keeps spinning and the local conversation continues. Now, Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Tuesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM. We are glad you are with us. Our late show every Tuesday, 10 to midnight. Of course, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We are 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock. As always, Jacksonville, we are streaming for your viewing pleasure. 1010XL YouTube, the 1010XL YouTube channel. Hacker After Dark will be there until midnight tonight. Like and subscribe when you head to 1010XL YouTube. You can also follow on my personal Twitter, at Ryan Green 1010XL. That's at Ryan Green 1010XL. We got a good guest lineup for you tonight. It'll kick off in about a half an hour. My friend Andrew Spivey of Gator Country, one of the best when it comes to following Florida Gator recruiting. He's been doing it for a number of years. We're going to get Andrew Spivey of Gator Country on, not only to talk about Billy Napier, not only to talk about the job he's doing on the recruiting trail, a little Todd Golden and men's hoops as well, but to certainly react to what was a pretty gut-wrenching baseball loss last night to Oklahoma. So Andrew Spivey of GatorCountry.com in about a half an hour. Coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, do you realize in the last 2 years, we have had 32 high school coaching changes in our area? 32. We had 18 between 20 and 21. We've now had 14 between 21 and 22. Why has the high school football coaching carousel here in Northeast Florida just completely been spinning out of control over the last 24 months or so? My friend Justin Barney, Channel 4, he will join us to give his opinion on why that is the case. And later on tonight, about 11:35, we will go to Houston. RJ Saunders, 97.5 FM Sports Radio, out in Houston, Texas, as we preview Game 3 of the NBA Finals, which will take place tomorrow night in Boston. Golden State and the Celtics. Of course, that series tied at a game apiece. NHL right now, Tampa Bay, a 2-0 lead on the Rangers. Game 4 in the NHL Eastern Conference Finals. If the Lightning hold on to win, that series will be tied at 2-2. We will certainly keep you updated on what has been a very fun series to this point between the Lightning and the Rangers. As I welcome in Dylan Denmark before we get to the big deal of the night. Denmark, you are a high school coach, middle school and high school. You do track out at Baldwin. You help out with the football team. When I told you that number, that 32 varsity high school football coaching changes in the last 24 months, that number surprised you at all?
Yeah, easily. I mean, I thought I was in the high teens, at worst, low 20s. You told me, what was it? You said 32?
32.
Yeah, that's... And, I mean, it goes to show, man, I mean, I don't think many people, that the average person listening doesn't understand the amount of work that has to go into being a high school football coach and then the amount of pay they get in return. It doesn't add up to, I mean, it's minimum wage to what these guys actually are putting in. And, I mean, the only reason they do this is because they absolutely love it. You know, they don't do this because of option.
And here's the thing, too. I mean, not that every coaching change isn't a big deal for that particular school. You look at this offseason in particular, Riverside, Mandarin, Orange Park, Ribault, Oakleaf in the last couple of days with Frank Garris, Wolfson. I mean, you got some big West Side, yeah, big-time programs, primarily in Duval County, but the surrounding counties as well. So, again, Justin Barney, Channel 4, coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. As always, we give you a big deal of the night as we kick off Hacker After Dark. And the big deal of the night tonight is one that, quite frankly, I'm a little surprised by. So CBSSports.com earlier today did the 16 NFC teams. I'm assuming their AFC list comes out tomorrow, so I wanted to jump the gun a little bit. And basically what CBSSports.com was asking in this story they did was the biggest offseason move, player-wise, by every NFC team. So I thought, okay, let's bring it here locally. What was the single biggest offseason move that the Jacksonville Jaguars did? And I'm not counting Doug Peterson. This is players only. Free agents, trades, somebody getting released, obviously the draft. So I put a Twitter poll up. It's still active. My 4 options for you were the drafting of Trayvon Walker, the signing of Christian Kirk, the signing of Brandon Scherf, and the drafting of Devin Lloyd. Of course, you can't put every move on there. Some of you might believe the signing of Evan Ingram was the biggest deal, maybe the signing of Olukan or Fatakasi. So there were a lot of options, but I could only put 4, and I thought Trayvon Walker, Devin Lloyd, Christian Kirk, and Brandon Scherf were 4 of the bigger things the Jaguars did this offseason. And I'll tell you what surprised me about it. But I continue to get surprised when I do polls like this. Over 400 people have voted. Again, at 1010XL Hacker on Twitter. Over 400 people have voted, and right now, leading the way with 37%, the drafting of Devin Lloyd, you have as the biggest move the Jaguars made this offseason. Second, the signing of Brandon Scherf at 30%. Third, the signing of Christian Kirk at 18%. And dead last on this list, at 16%, was drafting Trayvon Walker number 1 in the NFL draft. Couple of things to read into that. Number 1 to me is how much people here in the last 6 weeks have fallen in love with Devin Lloyd. Because I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I like to think I know a little bit about college football. I like to think I follow the draft pretty closely. I would be lying to you if I said that I knew a whole lot about Devin Lloyd prior to the end of April. I knew who he was. I had seen about 3 minutes of tape on him from NFL.com, and I vaguely remember seeing him at the Combine. And that's about it. And I would have to imagine that most of you listening, most of you, over the 400 of you so far that have taken part in this poll question, were probably in the same boat. They brought in $250 million plus worth of free agents in Christian Kirk, in Zay Jones, in Evan Ingram, in Brandon Scherf, in Foley Fatakasi, in Foye Oluokun, in Darius Williams. They also drafted Trayvon Walker number 1 in the draft. They released Miles Jack. They let DJ Chark go in free agency. There was a ton that has happened over the last 5 months. An absolute ton. But yet, Devin Lloyd, drafting him 27th overall, at least in this poll, and look, 420 people is a nice little number for a poll like this. Now, it's close. It's 37% Devin Lloyd, 30% Brandon Scherf, 18% Christian Kirk, 16% Trayvon Walker. It's not a runaway, but still, a 6% win for over 400 people voting that Devin Lloyd was the biggest move the Jaguars made this offseason. Kind of surprising to me. What say you? 641-1010 on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Phone line's always open. Text line always open here on Hacker After Dark. You know, that got me thinking, too. We had Ray Fittipaldo on last night, who covers the Pittsburgh Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Our AFC North preview this week. We will go to Cincinnati tomorrow. We will go to Cleveland on Thursday. We will go to Baltimore on Friday. Miles Jack is in the Steel City. Miles Jack is a Pittsburgh Steeler. And when I was putting this list together, trying to figure out the 4 options I would give for the biggest off-season move, look, I know we like to think about the future and people that are in Jaguar uniforms. So that's why I didn't put somebody that is no longer here. But I'm curious, Jaguar fans, have you thought about it in the last, 2 or 3 months? How will Miles Jack be remembered here in Jacksonville? We'll get to DJ Chark in a moment because I want to ask you the same question about him. But as you're thinking about Miles Jack, and obviously your mind goes back to January 21st, 2018, Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Was he down? Wasn't he down? Well, I don't think Miles Jack was down. Is that the easy answer? Is that how Miles Jack will be remembered? Will he be remembered for a guy that fell to you in round 2 and had a really, really good, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, played here 6 years? You know why Miles Jack fell to you in round 2 in 2016? Because there was talk about microfracture knee surgery. There was talk that he would not be able to play and have a long NFL career. And you got 6 years out of him. He was the only guy you gave a second contract to. You didn't give a second contract to Jalen Ramsey in the 2016 draft. You didn't give a second contract to Yannick Ngakoue from the 2016 draft. You gave a second contract to Miles Jack, though. It's just odd that you think about everything that transpired, all the guys that came in, all the guys we're excited about, the free agents, the rookies, the linebacking core now, obviously Devin Lloyd, already a fan favorite. You bring in Foye Oluokun, who led the league in tackles last year in Atlanta. He's now a Jaguar. But Miles Jack is not. And I'm just curious if he will be remembered any other way here in Jacksonville than Miles Jack wasn't down. Were his last couple of years here in Jacksonville a disappointment? Obviously, the Jaguars thought so. They went out and replaced him with Foye Oluokun, and then they released Miles Jack, 24 hours later? They feel like they upgraded that spot. They could do better than Miles Jack, and they did. DJ Chark, a similar thing. DJ Chark was coming off an injury, but the Jaguars spent big money in free agency. They paid Christian Kirk. They paid Zay Jones. They chose not to pay DJ Chark. And for that matter, a lot of other teams chose not to pay DJ Chark. He's on a 1-year prove-it deal in New York, or in Detroit. I bring up New York because DJ Chark is basically on the same deal there that Evan Ingram is here. A 1-year prove-it deal. But when you talk about Miles Jack being gone, you talk about DJ Chark being gone, and then the lesser guys, although they were here for a while. A.J. Cann was here since 2015. He's gone. Andrew Norwell was here for a few years. He's gone. By the way, he's going to start up in Washington. Washington and Jacksonville basically traded interior offensive linemen. Brandon Scherf to Jacksonville, Andrew Norwell to Washington. And, of course, Brandon Linder announced his retirement this offseason. But of everything that transpired over the last 5 months, Devin Lloyd winning the poll right now as the biggest move the Jaguars have made. I was pretty surprised by that. I was also pretty surprised earlier when you talk about breakout candidates around the National Football League, guys that are really going to emerge this year is basically what this story was entailing from CBS Sports. Their guy for the Jaguars to break out in 2022 is Travis Etienne, who just continues on a daily basis to get love on all the national websites. I don't know if you can break out when you've never actually played an NFL regular season game. What can you compare it to? Usually breakout candidates are guys that have not performed well in the NFL that will break out. Laviska Shenault would be a breakout candidate, a guy like that. But I don't see Travis Etienne being a breakout candidate because it'll be his first year on the field. I'm splitting hairs. I am excited that so many people are excited about Etienne. But when you think about Etienne, you think about Laviska Shenault, you think about Jamal Agnew, you think about Christian Kirk. Tell you what, man, Jaguars have a lot of options. Evan Ingram's another one. Sometimes Ingram will be a tight end. Sometimes he'll be spread out wide. Sometimes ETN will be in the backfield. Other times he'll be spread out wide. Jamal Agnew, potentially you could move all over the place. Christian Kirk, you can do reverses with him, screens with him, bubble screens, things of that sort. The Jaguars have a lot of toys at their disposal. They got a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things, a lot of versatility on this Jaguar offense. And Travis Etienne, again, whether it's CBS, ESPN, Fox, Sports Illustrated, continues to get a lot of love shown his way this offseason. 641-1010 is the phone number. If you want to get involved either that way or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, you are welcome to do so. Again, we're here for you, the hard-working, the midnight shift in the city of Jacksonville. That's what Tuesday nights are all about here on Hacker After Dark, as we're with you from 10 to midnight. The third period in Tampa, Florida is underway. The Lightning holding on to a 2-0 lead. Again, a Lightning win. They will tie the series at 2 games apiece. Game 5 back at Madison Square Garden on Thursday night. Coming up next, into the world of college football. A couple of things I want to dive into with college football. Again, Andrew Spivey, GatorCountry.com. He's coming up in less than 20 minutes. ESPN is doing their conference previews. They're previewing the ACC today. Wait till you hear what they said about Florida State entering the 2022 season. Yikes. That's next on Hacker After Dark.
I lied a big secret. People are smart. They can handle it.
Because you did not use the magic word.
What is the magic word?
1010XL, where sports magic happens.
Please.
Honestly, this is one of the best jobs I've had.
Drivers and mechanics, listen up. Waste Management is now offering a $5,000 new hire bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for job opportunities at our sites in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine.
There's so much more to Waste Management than what you think it is.
Waste Management offers steady work, competitive pay, weekly paychecks, opportunities for overtime, paid training, and a generous food and tool allowance.
Plus industry-leading benefits, like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family, and your home every day.
The benefits were great. They're the best I've seen in a long time.
CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics apply online today at WM.com/careers. That's WM.com/careers. Search driver and mechanic jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine, Florida.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
We are WM.
Hacker here for Blue Chew. That's right, guys. It's all about confidence when it's time to have fun, but sometimes stress, a bad day, or even your age can affect your performance. That's when BlueChew.com comes to the rescue. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as both Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets are chewable, which helps men combat all forms of ED. Look, Blue Chew is an online prescription service. No trips to the doctor, no trips to the pharmacy, no awkward conversations. Process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll get your prescription in days. You can try Blue Chew free when you use promo code HACKER at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. Gentlemen, come on. Go to BlueChew.com. Enter promo code HACKER. Trust me.
June is Men's Health Awareness Month. Are you aware that 1 in 23 men will develop colon cancer? Dan Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation for Research and Education. Remember to protect your end zone. If you're over 45, ask your doctor about a colonoscopy. 89% of colon cancer can be prevented. If you have a family history, you should ask a provider if you need to get screened earlier than 45. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more information.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM and FM. Jacksonville Beach. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hicken here for Roof It Right. You know the drill. Hey, that's our show. Don't let anyone touch your roof until you got a quote from my friends at Roof It Right. Storm season right around the corner. Get prepared now. with an inspection from Jacksonville's Master Elite Roofer, and sleep easy knowing your home is protected by the area's best materials and best warranties. There's a lot of roofers here in town. Roof It Right is the company I trust. Schedule your estimates today at roofitRightFL.com. That's roofitRightFL.com, and see why your friends and neighbors say, Roof It Right, so you can sleep at night.
At Duck Duck Rooter, we understand plumbing issues can be a real inconvenience for your building or business, and we're here to help. We can handle all kinds of plumbing jobs, including broken pipes, clogged drains, line jetting, installing water heaters, and full repipes. Need a camera inspection or a smoke test? Yes, Duck Duck Rooter does that too. Plus, our lift station services include inspections, monitoring, cleaning, and repairs. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
Join Jaguars linebacker Shaq Quarterman for the free Police Athletic League Football Skills Camp this Saturday morning at Blue Cypress Park. Call 425-5983.
Your family can host boys and girls from countries around the world, like Germany, Spain, Italy, Poland, Brazil, and Slovakia, to share your heart and home. Call 800-941-3738.
The Jack's Purple Parade, honoring local Alzheimer's residents, is Saturday morning at 10 in Atlantic Beach. Learn more at alz.org/CNFL.
You can play in the golf tournament benefiting the Derek Hatcher Foundation, combating the disease of addiction, August 13th at Eagle Landing Golf Club. Register at derekhatcherfoundation.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com. Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Regular movement is key to so many health benefits. Aim for at least 10,000 steps a day. Decide to only take the stairs if you're walking less than 6th floor. Never park in the first 10 spaces of the parking lot. Walk during your work breaks. Get up 10 minutes earlier in the morning and take a short, brisk walk before the chaos of the day starts. There are so many easy ways to stay active. Let's get moving, Jacksonville.
Get recruiting tips and advice from area coaches, pros, athletes, and their parents. Plus better ways to train as B3 bettors Jerry and Sanders and A.D. Roberts host the Amateur's Edge Show. Saturday from 11 to noon on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Late night edition. Tuesday nights, 10 to midnight. Glad you're with us here on 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Prince coming back there. Denmark, today's Prince's birthday, I understand?
That is correct.
How old would he have been?
64.
That halftime show Prince did at the Super Bowl, one of the best halftime shows.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I was a big fan of Prince. He left us way too soon. Tampa Bay has scored again, 3-0 Tampa. So barring a hockey catastrophe for the Lightning here in the last 15 or so minutes, they are going to even the series 2-2 with Game 5 back at Madison Square Garden on Wednesday night. I saw this before I get into the ACC. Did you see like the 50 nominees the College Football Hall of Fame put out for their 2023 class? Just a ton of local people on this list from Georgia, from Florida State, Miami, former Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Now, you got to keep something in mind. You cannot talk about their NFL careers. The College Football Hall of Fame puts you in for what you did in college football. Obviously, they don't care what you did in the National Football League. A prime example of that, one of the candidates this year is Justin Blackman. Ugh. I'll get more into him later on in the week. What could have been with Justin Blackman here in Jacksonville? Look, addiction's a terrible thing. I've known people that have battled addiction. But you want to talk about an absolute waste of talent, a waste of God-given ability. That's Justin Blackman. Remember that one game he had like 13 grabs for almost 200 yards
Not against the Rams.
Yeah, it was in St. Louis, right? I think it was like might have been his rookie year or second year. Like, he didn't play more than 2 years. Had to be one of them. Just an awful, awful waste of talent. And you never hear anything from Justin Blackmon anymore, which I guess is good, right? You don't see any more mugshots of Justin Blackmon, which I guess is a good thing. But he is one of the nominees for the College Football Hall of Fame. I'm going to give you a couple of these per night. And again, you have to erase what they did in the NFL. That does not matter. So the ones I'm going to give you tonight, and again, there are a bunch of them. We'll go through a couple of them per evening. Bryant McKinnie of the U, Brad Culpepper at Florida, Garrison Hurst of Georgia. Bryant McKinnie, that dude was a beast at Miami. A beast. I've had many conversations with my friend Leon Searcy, who you hear every day on XL Primetime. By the way, and we do this every year, how Leon Searcy is not in the College Football Hall of Fame, I have no idea. We'll continue fighting that fight because he should be in the College Football Hall of Fame. The guy started on 3 national title teams. The guy was All-American, first number 11 pick overall in the draft out of Miami. He absolutely should be in the College Football Hall of Fame. That aside, Bryant McKinnie should be as well. Mount McKinney, as good as he was in the NFL, as powerful and as dominant as he was in the NFL, he was every bit of that, if not maybe a little bit more, in college down there in Coral Gables for Miami. Brad Culpepper? Love Brad Culpepper. Now, I'm the guy that was born in 1983, all right? My earliest memory of Gator football, and I'm spoiled, I'll admit it, I really don't remember anything before Spurrier. Back in the back cauldron, I guess, of my mind, somewhere back there, I vaguely remember the 89 Gators. I vaguely remember Donald Douglas at quarterback. I think they had the AstroTurf still in the swamp. Arden Krzyzewski, I believe, was the kicker in 89. But really, my Gator fandom began in 1990. I turned 7 years old in October that year. And Brad Culpepper was one of my favorites, man. I loved him. I loved Huey Richardson, Ellis Johnson, Kirkpatrick, Harrison Houston, Will White. Man, that 90-91 Gator squad, I loved that team right when I started getting into it. Larry Kennedy, obviously Shane Matthews at quarterback. But Brad Culpepper was a key person for the Gators from the late 80s into the early 90s. And yeah, if you were to ask me, is Brad Culpepper deserving of being in the College Football Hall of Fame? I believe he is. He's already in the Florida-Georgia Hall of Fame here in Jacksonville. I really did like Brad Culpepper's game. And Garrison Hurst, I mean, what do you say? The guy is among the long line of ridiculously good Georgia Bulldog running backs. I mean, I know I'm going to miss some people here, but obviously go to Herschel Walker. You go Noshawn Marino, Alandis Gary, Terrell Davis. Although, again, Terrell Davis wasn't near what he was at Georgia that he turned into in the National Football League. Nick Chubb. Just go on and on and on down the line. Sony Michel. But Garrison Hurst absolutely belongs on that list. The guy was a stud in the early 90s at Georgia. Who was that for? Was that Ray Goff? I believe he played for Ray Goff. Might have got a little bit of Jim Donnan, too. But yeah, I'm biased. I'm locally biased, I guess. I really support the Miami, Florida, Georgia, and Florida State guys. I'll go ahead and tell you, and I want to move on to Florida State here in a moment, so this will be a good transition. I don't know how many years it has to be for you to be eligible for the College Football Hall of Fame. I don't know the criteria for that.
You have to be 10 years removed.
Was it 10 years?
I think.
All right. Well, maybe Denmark. Look that up to make sure. Because Warwick Dunn hasn't played college football in 26 years. 26 years since Warwick Dunn played college football. Why is he on the nominee list? Why is he not already in? That's ridiculous. Warwick Dunn was incredible. By the way, Peter Warwick is not in. He's on the nominee list this year. Are you kidding me? What is Peter Warwick not doing in the Hall of Fame already? And he hasn't played college football in what? 20 plus years?
Yeah, it is 10 years.
Yeah, 10. That is nonsense. That Warwick Dunn and Peter Warwick have both been eligible for this for well over a decade, and neither one are in. I mean, good grief, College Football Hall of Fame. What are you guys doing? That does lead me to Florida State of today's era, the 2022 Florida State Seminoles. So every year, ESPN.com around this time will preview the conferences. And obviously, it's all about Clemson. Can they respond? Can they rebound off a down year for Clemson last year? Keep in mind, Tony Elliott, their OC, is gone now. I believe he went to where? Virginia. So Clemson has a brand new OC. DJ Uiagalelei was not what he was built up to be last year. How will he respond this season? Do you realize Sam Hartman at Wake Forest is back again? I was convinced Hines Ward spent 9 years in college. I'm sure if you were not a Gator fan, you were pretty convinced Tim Tebow spent about a decade in college. Hartman has spent about a decade in college. Whether it's at Wake Forest, I know he was somewhere else prior to that. That guy's a good quarterback, man. Wake Forest scores a heck of a lot of points. And he's back for the Demon Deacons this year. You got to like them in the ACC. Apparently people love North Carolina State. I'll have to do some more research on them leading into the year. But you ask anybody that covers the ACC, they think North Carolina State might have something this year. Why am I bringing all three of them up? Well, because Florida State plays all of them. Florida State plays Wake. They play NC State. They play Clemson. They also play Miami. They also play LSU. They also play Florida. Boston College. Ugh. But Florida State is on this list, on this ESPN.com article. Compare them with Louisville. Which team will, quote, make the jump? Which team is most trustworthy in 2022? Seminole fans, is that where you're at? I guess it is. ESPN.com is legitimately asking who is more trustworthy, who will make a bigger jump, the Louisville Cardinal or the Florida State Seminoles. This is 13 consecutive finishes in the top 4 under Bobby Bowden. This was a national championship not that long ago with Jameis Winston, less than a decade ago. And they are now asking on their season preview if you will make a bigger jump than Louisville to get competitive in the ACC Atlantic. I've said all offseason, I'll continue to say it. I like Mike Norvell. I don't think it's necessarily his fault, although this is year 3. I think the crutch that he was given with what he inherited under Willie Taggart probably goes away very soon. He's had 3 recruiting classes now. He's had more than enough time to get his guys in there. He needs to start winning. Florida State opens up with Duquesne. I would hope they're going to win that. Although you probably would have said the same thing about Jacksonville State last year. But let's assume they beat Duquesne on August the 27th. Then you're back-to-back LSU and Louisville on the road. That is just an enormous September for Florida State. If you can somehow find a way to win LSU and Louisville and start 3-0, there will be legitimate talk, is Florida State back? But if you lose to LSU in New Orleans and you lose to Louisville and you're 1-2 and you're staring at games against NC State, Clemson, Wake Forest, Miami, Florida, yikes. Florida's in the same boat. Florida starts off really tough too. Utah, Kentucky, Tennessee. Miami doesn't start off tough. Miami has one hard game in their first 4. The other 3 are jokes. It's interesting the way Mario Cristobal will enter year 1 compared to Billy Napier. Miami plays Directional U and Sisters of the Poor in 3 of their first 4 games. The other one is tough. It's at Texas A&M, so give them credit for that. But clearly, Cristobal a much easier start in Coral Gables than what Napier will have in Gainesville. Speaking of Billy Napier, a lot going on at the University of Florida between Gator recruiting, the indoor all-football facility being pushed back, the opening date. Obviously, Heartbreak City last night for baseball. Let's head to Gainesville. Andrew Spivey does a terrific job for GatorCountry.com. I think he's one of the best Gator recruiting guys out there. We'll talk to him about everything going on at the University of Florida. Andrew Spivey, Gator Country, is next on Hacker After Dark.
3's a crowd.
Anything you want to add to this?
4's a party.
1,
Joe C.
2,
Matt Hayes.
3,
Mia O'Brien.
4.
Leon Searcy.
Hey, it's a party. Come on.
XL Prime Time. Weekdays noon to 3 on 1010XL.
Do you have glaucoma or high eye pressure? Dr. Rajesh Shetty of Florida Eye Specialists, alongside the East Coast Institute for Research, is conducting a clinical research study for subjects with glaucoma or high eye pressure. Qualified study participants will receive study-related eye exams at no cost and investigational medication over the course of about 12 months. Study participants may also be compensated up to $150 per visit for approximately 12 visits. If you're between 18 and 84 years old with glaucoma or high eye pressure, visit eastcoastresearch.net for more details. That's eastcoastresearch.net.
Hey, it's Jeff Prosser. Are you feeling the sting of higher interest rates and higher costs? All those credit cards and other loans are costing more and more every month. Inflation making everything else more expensive. But listen, your home can save you right now. Your home value is up, and there's a ton of cash in it that you can access with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. That means you can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks, pay off all those 23% rate credit cards and other loans, consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut $800 or more from their monthly budget, and even if your home mortgage rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. Call Loan Pronto now. Unlock that equity and wipe out bad debt. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. So call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Get recruiting tips and advice from area coaches, pros, athletes, and their parents. Plus better ways to train as B3 bettors Jaron Sanders and A.D. Roberts host the Amateur's Edge Show. Saturday from 11 to noon on 1010XL.
For the month of June, Zero Res has some great discounts on furniture cleaning. Hicken here, how about $35 off a sectional, $25 off a sofa, $20 off a love seat, and $10 off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, man, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
This is the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
So many people here are getting real lasting joint pain relief from QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I would recommend QC to anybody.
The work that QC Kinetics did paid off exponentially.
It brought me back to an effective age of almost in my 20s and 30s.
QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologics from your own body, precision treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your aching joints, with no meds, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain.
It is a all-natural therapy. You're using you to fix you.
I got my life back. I got my smile back. And best of all, I got my laugh back.
Don't live with that pain anymore. And don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Learn more about regenerative options from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Skilled trade jobs are booming, so begin your high-pay, high-demand career today through the Northeast Florida Builders Association. Their apprenticeship program provides paid training in some of the most highly sought-after skilled trades. Work full-time in carpentry, electrical, sheet metal, HVAC, or plumbing. plus earn a 10% raise every year. The class is 100% tuition free. Start your career plan today and apply before June 13th at nefbaapprenticeship.org.
Hey, Carline here. I love speaking with my friends at Griffin Cooling and Plumbing, and it turns out plumbing is crazy. You know, the longest route ever pulled from a drain was 201 feet. It's amazing some things Griffin has pulled from drains. Keys, false teeth, even a remote. Unbelievable. To honor the longest route pulled, Griffin is offering to clear any drain for $123 or it's free. When you have a plumbing issue, do what I do.
Visit griffinservice.com for details. Griffin, the home of the Florida-rated AC.
It's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest gifts for dads and grads. Featuring the Titleist Vokey SM9 wedges. The SM9 grooves are cut to maximize the interaction of ball and face for lower flight and higher spin. And from Bushnell, the Tour V5 and Tour V5 shift rangefinders inform you precisely how far you are from the pin. Whether you're a dad or grad, get a free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Men suffering from PE or ED, has Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra let you down? Regardless of your age or past medical history, you'll see results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center, or you pay nothing, guaranteed. Call us at 664-8217.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 7, 1989, Wayne Gretzky wins the NHL Hart Memorial Trophy, awarded to the league's most valuable player. This was his 9th honor in 10 years.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line, brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Gators, unfortunately, saw softball come to an end. Baseball came to an end, although it was a great regional over there in Gainesville. And, of course, we were only about 2 months or so away from fall practice beginning down at the University of Florida. Let's talk Gator athletics with my friend Andrew Spivey. You get him on Gator Country, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and man, what a couple days. I mean, you talk about Florida making a run to the College World Series, it wins College World Series, and, you know, baseball playing well lately, and then it's like, boom, at a snap of the fingers, they're both at home not playing ball anymore.
Yeah, the softball thing, look, I think they got hot. They played an overmatched Virginia Tech team, it appeared. When they beat Oregon State, though, in the first game in Oklahoma City, you're thinking, okay, but Oklahoma State was very good, and then UCLA, Florida just looked like, Andrew, they had nothing left.
Yeah, and you know, I think it kind of showed what we had seen all kind of throughout the year, and that is Florida really, for whatever reason, just doesn't have that go-to pitcher. And very odd for a Tim Walton team in general not to be the most fundamentally sound team on the field on any given day. Usually Tim Walton's teams are the best defensive teams, the best teams as far as base running goes, and making the small things happen. And it was definitely not the case against Oklahoma State, as Kenny G, his former protege, kind of outworked him. And man, Kenny G had a team. I thought they had a chance to beat Oklahoma, and then, you know, now Texas takes them down.
Yeah, with the College World Series for the ladies on softball there at Oklahoma City. Now Texas and Oklahoma will figure it out who's going to win the national championship. Andrew Spivey of Gator Country. Andrew, let's get into baseball. Boy, the baseball regional in Gainesville. You want to talk about a roller coaster, emotional swings almost every hour, it seemed. You thought Florida was dead in the water after losing to Oklahoma on Saturday. They beat Central Michigan in a great game Sunday afternoon. Come back with an unreal performance by Karsten Finvold Sunday night to beat Oklahoma to force a winner-take-all. And then a marathon yesterday, like 9 hours, including a rain delay, ends in kind of Heartbreak City for the Gators. What did you make of the whole situation?
Yeah, first off, what a performance by Carson on Sunday. I mean, unbelievable. The guy's throwing 86 miles an hour fastballs, and you kind of sit back there and you're looking, you're like, man, Oklahoma's going to make an adjustment. They're just going to start hitting home run derby batting practice against this guy. They didn't, and I mean, what an effort. You and I kind of touched on this a little before we got on the air, and that is, if the rain delay doesn't happen, are we talking about the Gators headed up to Blacksburg to take on Virginia Tech in the Super Regional? And I think you can make the argument that that's the case. I mean, the bullpen was shot already after having to play so many games. You used 6 pitchers against Oklahoma on Saturday. You used a bunch on Sunday in the doubleheader. You had a starter rolling on Monday before the lightning delay that, rain didn't even happen for 2 hours. And then you come out of the rain delay, and Florida has bases loaded. They failed to get, a big inning to get 1 run. And the bullpen, it showed that the bullpen was just shot, and Oklahoma rallied. And then, Wyatt Langford tried to kind of get things going in the bottom of the ninth with his home run, but Oklahoma was just a little too much at the end. And it just unfortunate because Florida got hot lately. I think it's kind of a little bit of the same thing as softball, where this team got really hot, and then Oklahoma was really hot as well, and Oklahoma just had a little bit more depth on the pitching side. And, you can't really blame Sully too much for that, as you had several guys, Barco, go out. So you lost a lot of guys to injuries, but at the end of the day, you just didn't have enough in the pen with arms to get through a regional where you were in the losers bracket.
Andrew, I got to tell you, too, Florida and Oklahoma, I don't think had ever played prior to this regional. Now they've played 3 times in the span of like 3 days. There was some chippiness out there, man. Those 2 teams didn't seem to really appreciate each other all that much.
No, and, Ryan, I think that's kind of a little bit around the country. Southern Miss, LSU had a little bit of that. Auburn, UCLA had a little bit of that, and we all know how bad Tennessee's been this year. They've gotten under everybody's skin. I love it. I am a guy who I'm all for it. I mean, let's have a little chippiness out there. Let's make these regionals fun. But yeah, for whatever reason, Florida and Oklahoma did not seem to be seeing eye to eye. So maybe we get that nice little rivalry here in about 2 years when they come in the SEC, and it'd be fun to see. I mean, our Oklahoma program is starting to be pretty good. I mean, they're starting to really get some good talent, and starting to steal some talent from Texas, who is usually a perennial powerhouse.
Andrew Spivey, GatorCountry.com, here with us on 1010XL Radio in Jacksonville. Andrew, you can certainly talk any Gator sport, but your focus certainly at Gator Country is on football and on football recruiting. I haven't talked to you since Billy Napier got the job in Gainesville. Your thoughts? Look, you covered McElwain, you covered Muschamp, you certainly covered Mullen. You know how good coaches are and how good they are not on the recruiting trail. What's your thought on Napier and how he's doing to this point?
I am a believer in Billy Napier. I really think the sky is the limit for what Billy Napier and his staff can accomplish, both on the field and in recruiting. When you just look at the amount of talent Billy Napier has been able to get on campus multiple times for unofficial visits, it's just unreal. I mean, you should not be able to do that in year one within the first few months of your program in this day and age. And Billy Napier's been able to do it. And he should be able to. It's the University of Florida. I mean, these guys should be able to come up to Florida from Tampa, from Miami, or whatever multiple times. And Billy Napier's been able to do it. And I think the biggest thing is once these guys get on campus, Billy Napier and his staff are able to get in the film room, really show these guys how good they are. Corey Raymond is just an unbelievable hire. I mean, that's a grand slam hire when you talk about it. The off-the-field guys, the analysts, having so many people to where a player is never without a staff member. It's not just a go-getter, campus girl or anything like that you're typical seeing. You're with an analyst coach who knows what they're talking about at all points of the time. And, it hasn't shown in results yet as far as commits go. A lot of that, in my opinion, is because the NIL game is forcing, players to kind of wait longer and kind of like a free agency to where they see what best deal they can get. But Billy Napier is going to get his guys, and I said this on Gator Country over the weekend, and that is next year, I think you're starting to talk about Florida being every year an annual top 5 team in recruiting. Billy Napier and his staff are too good not to.
Andrew, how did Florida get to where they were prior to Napier? From people coming in to facilities to what they did when recruits did visit. I talked to a lot of these guys, and it's night and day from Georgia to Florida. It was night and day from Texas A&M to Florida, and Florida is now closing that gap with Napier. But why did they fall so far behind in that department?
A lot of it was unwillingness to adapt. Dan Mullen didn't like recruiting. He would tell you straight up. He hated recruiting. He thought that logo, that F and that gator on the logo was going to win you recruits. And, Ryan, you and I both know that the University of Florida should do that, but we both know that doesn't happen anymore. Kids aren't coming just for the logo anymore. And, rightfully so. I mean, Florida hasn't been very good as of late. Dan Mullen never pushed the issue of wanting, the analyst on there, wanting all this stuff on there. And when kids came on campus, they didn't have fun. They didn't enjoy being around Mullen. Mullen was not around recruiting visits very often. It was his assistant coaches, and most of those were not very good recruiters. So unwillingness to adapt, I think, is the biggest thing. Billy Napier absolutely loves to recruit. He enjoys recruiting. His staff enjoys recruiting. They love football, and they're just they're hungry to win. And I think that's the biggest difference with it. And you're starting to see that. I mean, when you're talking about a guy in your area, in Trayon Webb, guy's been on campus 7 times this spring. 7 times. He's not seeing anything different. He loves something about this staff to continue to come back for 7 times in a spring visit to sit down with coaches, talk to coaches, and just be around the program. You're doing something right and showing kids a lot of love when they're doing that, and multiple kids are doing that.
Yeah, and I don't even think Trayon Webb was looking at Florida when Mullen's staff was there. That's pretty much all a Billy Napier situation. Andrew, we've had conversations in the past back at the Under Armour All-American game, because a lot of those guys were from IMG, how Florida just could not get into IMG for whatever reason. Napier in 5 months has gotten 2 guys out of IMG, and he has a lot more visiting. How vital was it for Billy Napier to infiltrate IMG Academy in Bradenton like he's done?
Single-handedly the most important thing in recruiting he could do. You and I and the rest of the country know that IMG has some of the best talent in the country year in and year out. I think last year at one point they had 15 of the top 75 prospects in the country on their campus. You have to recruit that. It's a 2-hour drive. You have to be able to recruit that and get those guys on campus. And once you got one, you felt good about it. And not only did they get one, but they got probably the leader of that team in Kamari Wilson, who is a dynamic recruiter in his own self and has been very good and vocal about getting those guys to come up and want to visit. It was single-handedly the best thing he could have done. And, I think kind of talking backwards a little bit, and it was probably the single-handedly dumbest thing Dan Mullen and McElwain and the rest of those guys didn't do was getting into IMG. You're basically saying, I don't care, by not putting all of your effort into IMG. I mean, Billy Napier was, visiting Kamari. He visited his mom. He visited his dad off campus. They made multiple trips to IMG. Every opportunity they had to go to IMG, they were there. You have to do that. You have to make that a second home. It's too good of a program. It's too good of players there year in and year out that you have to be able to do it. And it's showing. Kamari Wilson's there. Najee Harris already committed in the 2023 class. They look very good for a guy in Jordan Hall, Will Norman as well. And then one of the top offensive linemen in Francis is a guy who's from Cali, put Florida in his top 5. He wasn't even thinking about Florida before Billy Napier arrived, and now he's going to take an official visit. Do I think Florida gets him? Probably not. I think he does go back to the West Coast. But to be able to get that guy on campus is a huge difference from last year to this year.
Final moments here with Andrew Spivey, GatorCountry.com. Andrew, the facilities, the football-only facility, we know, I guess, the opening date got pushed back a little bit. What's your understanding as to when that thing is going to be good to go?
Yeah, it sounds like mid-July. I know Florida's planning to have a big barbecue at the end of July, so that they can kind of showcase that and, show the facility off. They're able to take kids through the facility now to kind of show them what it's going to be like. But every kid you talk to, I was just doing a interview with the 2024 linebacker, the number one linebacker in the 24 class, and Sammy Brown from Georgia. And he was raving about it. He was like, I can't wait to get back down to Gainesville to see the new facility. And that's going to be a big thing. Florida is now competing with the top schools in facilities. Not only that indoor facility that's going to be beautiful, but Billy Napier's changed the dorm rooms. They're living in much nicer dorm rooms than they are. They have their parking situation taken care of. So all around, the facilities went from bottom tier Vanderbilt, Missouri facilities to now you're competing with Alabama and Georgia, Texas A&M as far as facilities go. And there's no reason Florida shouldn't. The amount of money Florida has coming into their program every year, they should be competing for the top. And I think that's another big reason as to why I feel so good that Billy Napier is going to succeed on the recruiting trail.
Andrew, we'll do this again prior to the season because I want to get your thoughts on the 2022 team. But leave us with this. We got about 90 seconds left. Mullen and even Mike White out, Todd Golden, Billy Napier in. How much different does it feel in your circles with the two brand new coaches for basketball and football?
A lot different because of the energy. The energy is different. Billy Napier has the energy. Golden has the energy. And obviously it happens every time you get a new hire where there's, it seems like there's a lot of momentum and a lot of, optimism that things are going to be better. But when you see results this early, you see what Golden's done on the recruiting trail. You see what Napier's done on the recruiting trail. You see analysts, national analysts who have covered them talk about how good Golden's going to be. And you see, 23 and 24 recruits talking about Golden. I think the future is very bright. And I think that, when you look at a guy like Golden, he's a guy that's going to be there for a long time if he succeeds. And as long as he succeeds and Florida wants him, he's going to be there a long time. 35 years old. And you look at Billy Napier, he's a young guy as well. He's there for the long haul. I think that's the two keys is they have young, energetic guys who are really creating a buzz. And not only that, but they're able to get on these speaking tours that they go on. They're able to get fans and boosters excited. And you and I both know boosters run college football. They're able to get those guys excited, willing to donate money to facilities, NIL, that kind of stuff. And that all helps. And it all starts at the top. And Gold's done very well, a complete different from Mike White. And listen, I love Mike White. I think Mike White is a fantastic person, just doesn't get it done on the court. But Mike White was not a guy that really got you fired up, ready to run through a wall. Golden's a guy that can get you fired up, ready to run through a wall.
Andrew Spivey does a terrific job covering the Florida Gators and Gator football recruiting at GatorCountry.com. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Andrew, thank you for the time, man. Let's do it again before the season kicks off.
Absolutely. Anytime, Ryan. Take care, buddy.
What's that? Find 1010XL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by searching 1010XL and follow the conversation on social media because listening at the dinner table would be rude.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Have you ever regretted buying a car? Is the idea of shopping at a dealership scary? We want you to know that you don't have to feel that way, and I promise that Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet will provide the wow experience and peace of mind you deserve. We believe that taking care of our team, our customers, and our community is more important than anything. So give us the chance to earn your business and join our 50,000 plus and counting wowed customers. You won't regret it. See you at Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford.
Hello, Jacksonville. We're well off to being the murder capital of Florida per capita population again. We've had 51 homicides, 9 more than we had last year at this time. We've had 1,466 assaults. This includes shootings, stabbings, and so on. We had 1,378 last year at this time. These statistics are outrageous, and it does not even say that you are safe to go to a food truck in broad open daylight. My bishop stated that he was in a grocery store and wondered if he was safe. We're going to continue to have these problems until the community wake up, stand up, and speak up. JSO cannot solve the crime if they were not there when it happened. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think.
For information about Mad Dad, Go to Mad-Jacksonville Chapter Facebook or mad-jacksonville.com.
The new way to sell your home with multiple cash offers, go to highestprice.com. If you want to sell your home fast and for top dollar, enter your address and you'll receive multiple cash offers in less than 24 hours. No showings, no obligation at highestprice.com. Highestprice.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
June is Men's Health Awareness Month. Are you aware that 1 in 23 men will develop colon cancer? Dan Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation for Research and Education. Remember to protect your end zone. If you're over 45, ask your doctor about a colonoscopy. 89% of colon cancer can be prevented. If you have a family history, you should ask a provider if you need to get screened earlier than 45. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more information.
Taking the family out to lunch or dinner? That's exactly why Woody's Barbecue has designed their family feast. Family-sized portions of barbecue pork, chicken, spare ribs, served with barbecue beans, creamy coleslaw, French fries, fried corn on the cob, garlic toast. High-flying Jacko here, and, well, this commercial's kind of making me hungry. See you and your family here at Woody's today.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
When it comes to settling personal injury claims, there's no substitute for hard work. At Harrell & Harrell, we've recovered over $1 billion for our clients through our commitment to hard work. 904-251-1111.
Offices, Jacksonville.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may need expert help clearing space. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of clean out at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Establishing a regular sleeping pattern is crucial for your well-being. This includes going to bed at roughly the same time every night and waking up around the same time every morning. You may even consider turning off all electronic devices an hour before bedtime. Ever wonder why you can't fall asleep after staring at your phone right before bed? Studies show that the light from your phone actually decreases melatonin production, therefore causing disruptions to your sleep throughout the night. Get some rest before the big game. Go Jag.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM and FM. Jacksonville Beach. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
As a business owner, it can feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Spot On works with local restaurants to get them set up with the technology needed to stay competitive and made specifically for you. Spot On is a cloud-based point-of-sale system that takes orders and payments, but also addresses labor constraints by increasing efficiencies through handhelds and QR code technology. Call me, Jamie Watson, at 333-4325 or email me at jwatson@spoton.com. I'm here to help.
Every day you hear interesting and insightful conversations from national names on the Farah and Farah phone line.
I insist on complete honesty. If you have something to say to me, I wish you would just say it.
Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Halftime here on Hacker After Dark. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. Our late show on Tuesday. We're with you till midnight, Jacksonville. We are glad you're with us. Tampa Bay has defeated the New York Rangers 4-1. Series is now tied 2 games apiece. Game 5, Madison Square Garden, Thursday night, 8 o'clock. Game 6 now will be in Tampa Saturday night at 8 o'clock. So yesterday, Aaron Donald signed an enormous deal in L.A., making him one of the highest paid players of all time per year. and the first non-quarterback to eclipse $30 million annually. 3 years, $95 million. So today, CBSSports.com, in light of Aaron Donald's astronomical contract, did the top 10 defensive players of all time in the NFL. I'm going to do this with the Jaguars tomorrow night. So start thinking about who your top 10 Jaguar defensive players are of all time. Ronnie Lott comes in at number 10 on the list, of course. Probably the best safety that's ever played. Rod Woodson, number 9. Bruce Smith, number 8. Are there 7 guys better than Bruce Smith? Dick Butkus at 7. Deacon Jones at 6. Again, going back in the memory banks a little bit, but no doubt Dick Butkus and Deacon Jones were unbelievable. Your top 5 looks like this. Aaron Donald at number 5. Deion Sanders, number 4. Ray Lewis at 3. Lawrence Taylor at 2. Now, I'm fascinated to see who they're going to have over LT. Got Reggie White. Okay. I don't know about that. I think you're splitting hairs either way. I would not want to face either one of those gentlemen if I were a quarterback. Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, they were both ridiculously good players. But boy, they rank Aaron Donald in the top 5 all time for defensive players in the National Football League. Again, Ray Lewis 3, Deion Sanders 4, Aaron Donald at number 5. Great player, don't get me wrong. Absolutely terrific player. But is he among the top 5 defensive football players that have ever lived? Very high praise for Aaron Donald on this list from CBSSports.com. Speaking of defense, I'm sure you guys saw this yesterday. If not, Romeo Crennel, long time NFL head coach and assistant coach, has called it a career. When I say long time, the guy spent 39 years on NFL sidelines, either as an assistant or a head coach. You combine that with 11 years that he spent in college, and it's 50 years of coaching. 50 years of coaching for Romeo Crennel. He calls it a career. Good for Romeo Crennel. That is incredible. With the turnover in that industry and people not having jobs one year to the next, for Romeo Crennel to last 50 years coaching football, 39 of those 50 in the National Football League. Job absolutely well done, sir, and I hope you enjoy your retirement. Speaking of coaching, we have had quite the coaching carousel here in Northeast Florida over the last 2 years. Mentioned this earlier. 32 head coaching changes in high school football over the last 2 off seasons. 18 changes between the 20 and 21 season. So far, we've had 14 changes this year between the 21 and the upcoming 22 season. Why so much turnover? High school football head coaches in our area. What's going on? Lack of pay? Too much pressure? Expectation? It's interesting. 32 is a gigantic number for a 2-year window as to head coaching turnover. Justin Barney, Channel 4, the local station, one of the best in the area when it comes to high school sports. Love having Justin on. Let's get his thoughts on why the coaching carousel in Northeast Florida has been so crazy for the last 2 calendar years. Justin Barney is next here on 1010XL, 92.5 FM. It's Hacker After Dark.
Sports radio is.
I know what you're trying to do. I'm trying to free your mind, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it. You have to walk through it.
1010XL.
For the month of June, Zero Res has some great discounts on furniture cleaning. Hicken here, how about $35 off a sectional, $25 off the sofa, $20 off a love seat, and $10 off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, man, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. Are you ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. The First Coast YMCA is not only your home for health and wellness, it's also a place for the kids to explore, to learn new things, and to expand the limits of their imaginations. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, and outdoor games. Space is limited, and registration is now open. Visit fcymca.org and search for summer camps. See you at the Y.
Imagine if you could sell your house the moment you got your dream job halfway across the country. Open Door makes that a possibility by giving you a competitive offer on your house in a matter of days. Lauren Brooks here for Open Door. New baby, new job, upsizing, downsizing? Well, sell directly to Open Door. When life's doors open, they'll handle the house. With Open Door, you don't have to worry about finding transitional housing or paying a double mortgage. Life is full of opportunities. Selling your house shouldn't keep you from them. Sell directly to Open Door and get back to what matters. Hundreds of thousands of people have already requested their offer. It's so simple. Just go to opendoor.com like I did. Enter in your address, tell them a little bit about your house, and they'll make you an offer in minutes. Open Door offers a competitive, hassle-free sale, so you can focus on what's ahead in life. When life's doors open, Open Door will handle the house. Learn more at opendoor.com/1010. That's opendoor.com/1010. Offer eligibility varies. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Inc. license 02061130 in California and Open Door Brokerage LLC and its other markets.
For window replacement, the only call you need to make is to Kohler Homes. Our installers are in-house employees. We have access to all the Florida-approved manufacturers. Plus, we offer special financing programs with no interest or payments till 2023. You'll love our culture, our consultants, and the entire experience. We want you to be a smart consumer and research who you're hiring. That's why at Kohler, it's full transparency, no agendas, and plenty of options. That's why we're Kohler proud, and you will be too. Visit KohlerHomesInc.com. Kohler Homes, the right choice.
People here are raving about QC Kinetics and how regenerative medicine has changed their life. People like Helen, an avid mountain climber who got sidelined when an accident left her knees in constant pain.
I was not able to train or do really anything on my knee.
Helen was told surgery would be her only option. But then she found QC Kinetics and was treated with natural biologics designed to repair and restore tissue in her knees. 3 months later, she was climbing the highest mountain in North America.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain. I began treatment in March, and I summited Denali June the 7th. It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
Get your life back with lasting results. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
This is the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
What insect is considered the most efficient hunter? The answer coming up.
It's always a good idea to compare homeowners' insurance rates when it's time to renew. Before storm season, log on to southernoak.com and get an instant quote or find an agent in your area.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The fighter jets of the insect world, the dragonfly, catches up to 95% of their prey.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Homeowners, hurricane season can be a disaster, but I had Ken Lawler and his team at Fifth Element adjusting to help me get my roof replaced through my property insurance. Ken, how does this work?
Well, Jeff, if you have a denied or underpaid claim, an aging roof, or maybe received a non-renewal letter from your insurance carrier, call us. All this is free if we do not recover any money for your insurance claim. Call Fifth Element Adjusting or visit feaclaims.com. If you're happy with the outcome of your claim, Fifth Element Adjusting will not be able to help you. Ken Lawler, DFS number P213199.
The players are on the field, and 1010XL is there. Driven by Tire Outlet. Listen for 1010XL's coverage of organized team activities and minicamp. Brought to you by Kohler Homes Windows and Doors. The right choice.
Not sure what to get Dad for Father's Day this year? Come by Woodcraft of Jacksonville and grab your dad a gift certificate. Woodcraft of Jacksonville is your local source for woodworking tools, projects, and lumber. We have woodworking classes from basic to advanced. If you need help with a current project, our knowledgeable staff at Woodcraft can help because we're a trusted source for woodworkers. Come by our location on the corner of St. John's Bluff and Beach. Get your Woodcraft gift certificate for Father's Day now.
Follow off-season activities on 1010XL.
Quick feet, quick feet, quick feet!
Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Be smart, let's get the work done.
Roll through the off-season with Tire Outlet. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line, brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The month of June has arrived. Believe it or not, we are only about 2 months away from the Friday Night Lights. The fall practice season will get underway the 1st of August with the preseason jamborees, and then opening night in high school football in our area will come at about August 26th or August the 27th. With that, let's bring in Justin Barney from Channel 4, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Justin, how we doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having me today, Hacker.
Hey, Justin, always appreciate it, man. You and I were talking off air, and you added it up, and I couldn't believe the number you gave me. 32 coaching departures in our area in Northeast Florida in the last 2 off seasons, including 14 since we last had a season in December this year. Unbelievable the amount of turnover at head coach in our area over the last 24 months.
Yeah, it's been, from the 2020 off season up until now, 32 changes at programs in our coverage area that goes up into South Georgia as well and stretching over to Columbia County. Very, very, I don't know if you want to say alarming or just kind of moving. It's, we've kind of charted coaching salaries and movement and why guys get out of the job. And I think it's coming down to a lot of guys, coaches look at it and weigh it out and see how much they're getting paid, see how much time and effort, commitment go into it. And you've got a young family or you've got kids on the way or something. And it's a big sacrifice and time commitment. And I think you're seeing that more and more now of coaches weighing it out and saying, is this really worth what I'm giving up? And I think you see that when you look at 32 changes at area schools from the 2020 off season until now. And these are some big schools too, that are funneling coaches in and out. So I know coaching changes are cyclical and kind of come in waves, but it's been a very active off season for us when you're talking about losing guys like OJ Small, long tenured coaches like that, 14 changes in 2022. And I don't think we're going to see this slow down anytime soon unless something is done from a financial standpoint or a resource commitment standpoint. And you really can't blame these coaches for stepping down, in my opinion.
Justin, and that's really what got me. The latest one, Frank Garris steps down at Oakleaf. So you're talking about Bobby Ramsey, no longer at Mandarin. You mentioned O.J. Small, no longer at Riverside. Tom McPherson, no longer at Orange Park. Rodney DeBose, good grief. He was at Westside forever. He's no longer there. Frank Garris at Oakleaf, Dennis Bettinger at Wolfson. Go on down the line. I mean, big programs, name coaches that have all left here in the last couple of months.
Yeah, and that's experience too. And I think I keep beating the drum about salaries and stuff, but John Fox, the longtime Duval County AD, told me years and years ago when I talked to him about this very issue, and he said, administrations, school districts look at these jobs as high-profile jobs, and you're going to have 100 candidates to fill those positions. So there's really no impetus to speed up and say, hey, we need to pay these men and women more who are doing a phenomenal job for not a lot of money, and they're putting in a lot of hours. So I don't think you can blame the men and women who are getting out of this profession or maybe changing into the private sector, like we've seen Derek Chipoletti do at Oakleaf. We just saw Frank Garris do it at Oakleaf too. So I do think we're going to see that continue to speed up over these next few years as, again, the constraints and everything that coaches are expected to do and contribute, recruiting and official visits and everything. I mean, these coaches are tasked with a lot of things that they weren't tasked with even 10 years ago. So I think as you see these expectations and the demands of these jobs intensify, unless you're coaching at a Georgia school where you're getting paid six figures to do it. I think it really makes some of these coaches here in Florida, not even just in our area, but the state as a whole, kind of question what is their value, what is their how much are they appreciated? How much are they compensated? So I do think it's going to continue to make a lot of these men and women scrutinize and ask the questions, is this the best use of my time and the best use of my profession?
Justin Barney of Channel 4 here with us on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Justin, an interesting sidebar from that. We mentioned Bobby Ramsey and Rodney DeBose. Ramsey, of course, a state champion at Mandarin. Rodney DeBose, like we said, was at Westside for, a decade plus. Both guys now in different positions at smaller schools in the area, so they get out of one job, dive right into another one. It'll be interesting to see, as experienced as Ramsey and DeBose are, how that experience helps them at these smaller programs.
Yeah, and with Bobby specifically, I talked to him when he was accepted, announced as a new head coach at Impact Christian, and he said he was recharged by the opportunity to come in and build something from the ground up. He did that in a sense at Yulee. Helps when you have a guy like Derrick Henry coming into the fold, but he did that in a small way at Yulee, getting the program there in its second year and building it into a state semifinalist in 2012 by the time Derrick Henry was a senior. So it will be a new task for him. He's kind of seen things from different lights. He's coached a couple Mr. Football winners. He's done it at big programs in Mandarin and Yulee, won a state championship with the Mustangs, and now it's kind of the cupboard is bare, and you kind of have the power to kind of get in and build the program the way you want it from the ground up. And, in a sense with Rodney DeBose too at NFEI, he's had some good success at places, not just Westside. He's kind of a coaching guy in this area who's seen some stuff. He's a St. John's Country Day. He's been in the Clay County circuit for a while. So I think that veteran leadership and kind of seeing programs in different angles, in the West Sides, the St. John's Country Days will help him too at NFEI, a program with some good resources behind it and still kind of waiting to take that next step.
Justin, as we get closer to the season, we'll start looking at storylines, start looking at players, and look, two of the most highly acclaimed guys in our area. Marcus Stokes is one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in Northeast Florida in quite some time. He's already committed to Penn State. Everybody's waiting on Trayon Webb of Trinity Christian. Will he go to Florida? Will it be South Carolina? I saw he's canceled his official visit to Tennessee. But whether it's Stokes at Nice, Webb at Trinity, are those kind of the two guys coming into this year, or do you think there are, other guys that could potentially be top in our area in 2022?
Yeah, I think you look at Trayon and anytime you've got a quarterback of the caliber of Marcus Stokes, I think you have to look at that and say, man, these guys are the front of the list. Sam Singleton, running back at Fleming Island, he's in that mix too, is actually rated a little bit higher by a couple notches over Trayon Webb in the 247 sports rankings, but just a good list in this area this year. You've got Grayson Howard over at Jackson, linebacker. Biggest recruit for the Tigers since Leon Washington many moons ago. So that's a great story at Jackson. You've got Jaden Robinson at Columbia, Sharif Denson at Bartram. Really good, deep class this year. Not that Derrick Henry, DeMarcus Walker, Nick Washington class that we saw all the way back in 2013. But this is a good class in terms of depth. I mean, we don't have any top 20 guys right now in the country. But what we do have is a lot of guys who are going to play on Saturdays at some FBS schools, Rod Kearney at Orange Park, and really at the non-traditional schools too. So I think that's an interesting caveat going into this year. Got guys at Orange Park, guys at Westside, Jordan Hall, Grayson Howard at Jackson, Fleming Island, Sam Singleton. I mean, really some good guys at some non-traditional programs in the area, making their presence known on the recruiting circuit. I'm looking forward to seeing how this year plays out. But a lot of good storylines come recruiting. It goes beyond the Trayon Webbs and Sam Singletons this year, Marcus Stokes kind of guys too. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this year plays out.
Couple more for Justin Barney of Channel 4. Justin, St. Johns County opened Coy Creek last year. There was another brand new high school in St. Johns County with Beachside is opening up. My question to you is this. We know how good Bartram Trail and Creekside and Ponte Vedra, St. Augustine, certainly, all these schools, Nice, what they did last year, my goodness. But the more public schools that open up out there, we've seen this in the past, is that going to start maybe watering down some of the talent where these St. Johns County schools are going to have to kind of eat each other a little bit?
I think so. I think we saw it years ago when Nice split and Bartram and Menendez opened, I believe, in 99, 2000, going all the way back then. And Menendez didn't poach as many the talent from St. Augustine. A lot of the St. Augustine talent stayed there at St. Augustine instead of going to Menendez. But we did see it with Bartram Trail and Nice. Nice struggled a little bit to get back on the map after that school split, and Bartram was almost instantaneously good. Bartram Trail under Daryl Sutherland, who's still there, really kind of rode that building of a new school as good as you possibly could have hoped for. But I do think with a lot of the schools coming in Beachside, Turquoise Creek, you're going to see that they're going to take their lumps. This isn't St. Johns County in 1999. There's so many more schools now, talent far spread out. So I do think it's going to take some time for the Beachsides and Turquoise Creeks to establish themselves. But they do, with the addition of those two schools, you do kind of pull from other areas, the Bartrams, the Creeksides, the Nices of the world. So I do think you have a potential to see a little bit of that drain on those surrounding schools. But I just think there's so much talent in St. Johns County. I don't think you're going to see any of those schools take a massive step back because of it.
Hey, Justin, leave us with this. I've talked to a handful of coaches this offseason about the suburban and the metro deal. The brief version of that is the Duval County schools are metro. They could no longer play St. John's or Clay or Baker County schools because they're all suburban in district play. The feedback I have gotten from the handful of coaches I've talked to has been less than positive, particularly from people in St. Johns County. What have you heard about this, and how is it being received around the state?
Yeah, I think if you look at the big overall picture, I think the metro schools have a little bit more to complain about in a sense. You feel like you almost were pigeonholed into this, and you don't have any recourse, and it was moved along far too quickly for such a seismic change. And then the other school of thought is, hey, we've done things so long for quite some time, and it's not gotten us anywhere. We're more muddled as can be. So I do think it was a little bit of I personally was in the room that day when they took that vote, and did not think that it was going to shake out like that. And since then, there's been some residual blowback of it. And could South Florida start their own association? Will there be something that rivals the FHSA that comes to kind of address this situation? But I think from the suburban school standpoint, I think it's been more well received from the suburban type schools than it has been the metro schools. If you're a Trinity Christian or somebody like that, I don't think it bothers you as much because you're going to have to go through the metro schools at some point anyway in the postseason. Takes out maybe a round or two of the early cupcake games from you, and probably puts you 4 difficult games to get back to that state championship instead of maybe 1 or 2. So I do think it's probably more, if you're kind of painting with a broad brush, I think the metro schools have a little bit more angst about the situation, and the suburban schools have a little bit more of forgiveness and see what things are the state is trying to do in this situation. A lot of really the brain trust behind this change was from a chunk of coaches who were at suburban schools. So I do think the suburban schools have a little bit more positivity on the new changes in the state as opposed to the metro schools. But there's even something going on tomorrow at the FHA where one board member, Ralph Arza, has presented a line item for a vote to expand the metro division from 4 classes to 5 classes. So we'll see what traction that gets at the FHSA Board of Directors meeting tomorrow. Just interesting to see so many huge changes in one offseason. Really, arguably the biggest change we've ever seen in high school football in the state coming to us this year.
Yeah, it's nuts. And look, I thought we were done with 3-team districts. I'm talking to Colin Drafts, the coach in Nice last week. It's Nice, Ponte Vedra, and Flagler Palm Coast. and that's that district. And we hated 3-team districts back in the day, Justin, and I see no reason why I'm not going to hate them in 2022. I don't know why they have to do that, but I guess it is what it is, and we'll see how it works for the next year or two. Justin Barney of Channel 4. Justin, thank you for the time, man. We will be under the Friday night lights before you know it, and we'll certainly be having you on a lot more here on Hacker After Dark. Thank you, my friend.
Coming up soon. Thanks, Hacker.
Justin Barney, always appreciate him from Channel 4. And, 32 coaching changes, high school head football coaching changes in our area. That just seems like a lot. And, again, the big schools this year with brand-new head coaches, Mandarin, Westside, Ribault, Orange Park, Oakleaf, Providence, Wolfson. Lot of turnover. But, again, we will be under the Friday Night Lights very, very soon. It'll be year 16 of the Friday Night Lights postgame show. We started that in August of 2007, and we will enter our 16th season, August of 2022. Certainly looking forward to that. That'll almost wrap it up here for the most part. I do want to get into a couple of things in the final half an hour of the broadcast. The NBA Finals are tomorrow night. Again, we've had to wait. You had to wait 72 hours between Game 1 and 2. Now you got to wait 72 hours between Game 2 and 3. NBA is stretching for all it's worth. But we will have Game 3 tomorrow night in Boston between the Celtics and the Golden State Warriors. That series is tied at a game apiece. My friend R.J. Saunders, formerly of here at 1010XL, you now hear him on 97.5 FM Sports Radio out in Houston. He will join me to preview the Celtics and the Warriors. That is coming up again tomorrow night. The big news of the night tonight, the Tampa Bay Lightning have tied up the Eastern Conference Finals in the National Hockey League. They defeat the Rangers tonight 4-1. Game 5, Madison Square Garden, Thursday night. Again, the Lightning trying to do something that has not been done in 40 years. It wasn't since the 1980 to 83 New York Islanders that an NHL team has won 3 Stanley Cups in a row. The last professional team to do it, I believe, was the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, and you're going back about 20 years on that. So the Lightning trying to do something that has not been done in quite some time. Win back-to-back-to-back titles in professional sports here in the United States of America. We will see what happens. But again, the series is tied at 2-2. Game 5, New York City, Madison Square Garden on Thursday night. R.J. Saunders, 97.5 in Houston, coming up in just a bit. I do want to remind you as well, our AFC North preview will continue tomorrow night. We were in Pittsburgh last night. We will go to Cleveland on Thursday, Baltimore on Friday. It's all about the AFC champion, the Cincinnati Bengals. We will have Cincinnati and Jay Morrison of The Athletic tomorrow night on a Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark, as our AFC North preview will continue tomorrow evening. Let's go to Houston. R.J. Saunders breaking down Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the Celtics and the Warriors. That's next with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Jacksonville, so glad you're with us. It's a Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Every summer, 1010XL puts its players through training camp.
Struggle, survival.
It ain't pretty.
Victory and defeat.
But we get sharp for the season and come together as a team.
It's just a game, Doc, but
1010XL.
I love it.
Culture is everything in the workplace. The Jacksonville Business Journal and their sponsors, Quantum Workforce and Regents, want to honor the best places to work. If you believe your business is the best or know a business that believes it's the best, now is the time to nominate them as the best places to work in Jacksonville. Go to JacksonvilleBusinessJournal_nominations.com to make sure your nominations are in before the June 15th deadline. That's JacksonvilleBusinessJournal_nominations.com to nominate.
Tired of the same old places for happy hour? Downtown's best is at Bellwether. It's Tuesday through Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m., with the exception on Friday when happy hour starts at 11 a.m. because why not? For all you late-nighters, Bellwether offers nightcap specials on Friday and Saturday from 10 to midnight. Want a snack with your cocktail? Bellwether has a unique bar food spread. And guess what? All metered parking is free after 6 on weekdays as well as the weekend. That's Bellwether downtown.
Men, did you know that over half of all males suffer from ED or PE?
Ladies, your man should talk to the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center.
If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down,
Men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
for a private consultation at Prime Men's Medical Center, call 904-664-8217.
See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or pay nothing.
Call 904-664-8217.
June is Men's Health Awareness Month. Are you aware that 1 in 23 men will develop colon cancer? Dan Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation for Research and Education. Remember to protect your end zone. If you're over 45, ask your doctor about a colonoscopy. 89% of colon cancer can be prevented. If you have a family history, you should ask a provider if you need to get screened earlier than 45. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more information.
If you're involved in a legal dispute, call me, Glenn Levine, a board-certified civil trial lawyer at the law offices of Anajar Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000, and take back control of your life. Office in Jacksonville.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hicken here. About 2 years ago, I had Bueller Air out to install the nicest system we've ever had at our home. Why did I choose Bueller? Well, they were and still are locally owned, and their service is immaculate. I mean, they really have the coolest guys in town. Right now, they even have 0% financing available on all new systems. So remember, for AC needs, stay cooler with Bueller.
Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Looking to be your own boss in a proven business model? Like construction and working outdoors. Superior Fence and Rail is franchising in new markets all over the Southeast, from Birmingham to Savannah, and even a few more markets in Florida. Come win with us and redefine the fence industry. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail to learn more about starting a fence franchise today.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Reunited, the Black Crows present Shake Your Moneymaker. Played in its entirety. Plus all the hits. Saturday, June 11th, Daly's Place. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of Shake Your Moneymaker. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. The Black Crows present Shake Your Moneymaker.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent with help from Family Support Services of North Florida. You provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
That little indicator light has been telling you, get an oil change. For how long now? But you're busy, and auto service takes time. So how about hurry on over to a famous Quick Lube right now? 12 locations open 7 days a week with super fast oil change service while you wait comfortably in your own car, starting at just $20. Now that's famous. For fast, reliable oil change service at your convenience, visit Famous Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous.
Life a little expensive right now? If you need cash, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach is ready to buy. Gold, silver coins, and flatware, guitars and guns. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn wants to buy them. See Chuck and get extra cash only at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn.
Get closer to nature.
Nice buck.
On the Nimnik Chevrolet Outdoor Show.
Nice buck. Nice buck.
Captain Kevin and Captain Kirk join Jeff Lageman. Fish tales and hunting stories. Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the Accident Attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Let's talk to a 1010XL alum. You hear him now in Houston on Sports Radio 97.5 out in the great state of Texas. That is my friend R.J. Saunders. R.J., how we doing?
Good, Hack. How are you, man? It's always great to be on.
Hey, R.J., always appreciate the conversation. You and I had many NBA talks off air. Now we're lucky enough to be able to talk NBA on the air here on Hacker After Dark. And RJ, 2 games in, man, to the NBA Finals. I don't know if you could have 2 more different games. Boston shoots lights out in Game 1. They can't throw it in the ocean in the second half in Game 2. What's been your thought on the Finals to this point?
I think this is something you got to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the game. Like you said, Game 1, it was all Boston. I think that individuals came in, said Golden State is probably going to win Game 1. It's the first NBA Finals in their new arena. The energy is going to be there. The team is back. This is also a team where many probably said the dynasty is over. Now they're back here. Now they want to, usher in that new era and usher in a big Game 1 victory. But then you had Boston on the other side, and you had those saying they're young, but they're also inexperienced, and they've never been here. But what we tend to forget, I feel, is that you have guys like Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and Jaylen Brown. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals many, many times throughout their career so far. And so even though it's not the NBA Finals, they do have experience going deep. And so I believe that they knew everybody was kind of writing them off, at least for Game 1. They said, well, while everybody has their heads turned, let's attack. And that's what they did. Jaylen Brown had a great Game 1, as well as Al Horford as well, who's been having a great playoffs, by the way. Talk about, an aged veteran that's excited to be in his first NBA Finals. But then you go to Game 2, and I think that Golden State needed that punch in the face in Game 1. They now woke up in Game 2, and I mean, we saw it. Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green being who he is, that annoying pest on the defensive end, but also being the great leader for the Golden State Warriors. And Steph Curry was able to find his shooting touch. Klay Thompson was a guy that didn't have the touch going, but you see all the pieces that they have around them to where they can make it work. So now going back to Boston, Hack, I got to be honest, I don't know who's more favored, but I think Boston did what they needed to do, and that was get one on the road, and so they have to be feeling really good going into Game 3.
Yeah, it's a best of 5 now with the series tied at 1 game apiece. R.J. Saunders, 97.5 FM Sports Radio out in Houston, Texas, here with us on 1010XL. R.J., I'm going to savor every moment that I get to see Steph Curry in situations like this. He's in his mid-30s. Who knows how much longer he can keep this up. Watching Steph Curry play and watching him shoot is just awesome. I remember Reggie Miller and certainly Ray Allen. We've had some great shooters. I don't think any of them are better than Steph Curry. Watching that guy is just a sure pleasure.
Oh, absolutely. And I think he's definitely going to be one of those guys that when he leaves the league, you're going to say, man, did we really appreciate Steph Curry throughout the whole entire tenure of his career? Here's a guy that he has changed the whole complexion of the not only NBA, but how kids play basketball. Everybody's stopping and popping and going towards the three-point line. There's no more, going to the basket as much because everybody wants to be like Steph Curry. And it's awesome to watch this guy night in and night out put on shooting displays and shooting performances like he does. I mean, Reggie Miller was a great player and a great shooter. You also had guys, I'll throw one out for you, Drazen Petrovic. Mm-hmm. He was also a great shooter in his time. You also had guys like Ray Allen, and those guys were really, really great shooters. But Steph Curry has been an absolute meteor since he's been in the league. And once he was finally given the reins to be that starting point guard, and he's changed the entire complexion of the NBA. I mean, you look at past scouting reports of him, they thought he was going to be his father. They thought he'd be another Del Curry, which wouldn't be bad, another great shooter that we had in the NBA. But, I mean, he's turned it up so much to where now he has changed just the way we play basketball. And, even though I'm a Lakers fan, you got to enjoy what you see from great players, and that's what Steph Curry is, an amazing, amazing player.
RJ, I'm watching Draymond Green, and look, the guy's never been a big scorer. The guy rebounds, the guy blocks shots, he forces turnovers. You called him a pest earlier, and I like that. But the more I watch him and the more he gets more into his NBA career, is he turning into this generation's version of like a Dennis Rodman type guy?
Oh, absolutely. And I think it works for everybody. And I mean, heck, I think we have to look at it. I mean, throughout history, I mean, even with, throughout all the NBA championship teams, you named Rodman. I think every championship team needs one guy who just has a screw loose. They need one guy who's a little bit of a jerk. And that's what Draymond Green is. He's that guy that you hate because he's not on your team. And if you're a Warriors fan, you love him because he's on your team. I mean, he's definitely like that Dennis Rodman type guy. He's not the most athletic. He's not the fastest. I mean, he may not be the strongest player on the floor each and every time, and he's gonna get on your nerves. He's gonna be an irritant, but that's what you need on a championship team. And as much as we dislike his antics on the floor, I think guys like Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, and Klay Thompson and everyone else that's in that Warriors front office and on the bench would say this guy is our unquestioned leader on the floor. He's the guy that, we feed off of his energy. You hear Steph Curry in the post-game interview after Game 2 when one reporter asked him, when did you know that Draymond Green was going to get amped up for Game 2? He said 5 minutes after Game 1 was over. So Draymond Green has been that guy. He's found his niche. And, I mean, listen, if Golden State doesn't lose in the NBA Finals to LeBron James after losing that 3-1 lead, you can argue that Draymond Green was going to be MVP of that series. I mean, he's a great player in his own right, but goodness heck, is that man an absolute irritant like like Dennis Rodman, and also a little bit like Ron Artest, who was also an irritant back in his day. So he's definitely in that category. But if you're going to be a championship team, I think you need a guy like that.
RJ Saunders, 97.5 FM Sports Radio out in Houston. I like what you said. If he's on your team, you love him. If he's not on your team, you can't stand him. I think that's well said. I also like the Rodman and the Ron Artest comparison with Draymond Green. RJ, Boston should be happy they're going home in theory, yet they haven't played very well at home in the last two playoff series. I mean, Miami went in there and I think won twice. Milwaukee went in there and won in the conference semis. So even though Boston technically has home court now, they haven't performed well there in Boston here in the past couple of weeks.
They haven't, and that's probably one of their Achilles heels this postseason, that they haven't played well at home. However, you do have to look at this team and say that it's a new series. We're now at home. It's a chance for us to now get a win. We got one on the road, but we have to protect home court. We cannot allow ourselves to lose two at home and then go back to Golden State now down 3-1. You can't allow that to happen. I think that you have a guy in Jaylen Brown. I mean, whatever he's eating, keep eating it, because he has been an absolute tear in the first two games of the series. And maybe a little bit of home cooking is going to bode well for Boston in this series. I mean, we've seen stranger things happen where one night you can't buy a bucket when you're at home in one series, and then you get to the next series and everything's falling and you can't miss. I mean, we talked about it at the top. Wasn't it funny? The first two games of this series, game one, Boston could hit everything. Then go to game two, they can't hit a barn door with a banjo. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do here in game three. They have to at least win one. I know they'll feel great if they can win two, but they have to win one. And in order to win, you got to win at home. You got to protect your home floor. And I think Boston understands that, and I think that they're going to win one out of two as the series shifts over to Boston.
Yeah, RJ, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I was thinking the Orlando Magic sent out an email about tickets for the upcoming season. Now, they didn't make the playoffs, so they haven't been playing for about 2 months. But maybe we lost sight of it with COVID and the pandemic and the schedule was all out of whack. But training camp is going to begin in mid-September. The NBA regular season is going to begin in mid-October. We're 4 months from the new season, and we're still in the midst of this season's finals. Whoever wins the championship is going to have 90 days off before they report to training camp. Does the NBA need to look into that? Do they need to do something about the length of their season?
It was interesting to hear Adam Silver in that press conference talk about, they may shave off 10 games. And then, of course, you saw Richard Jefferson on ESPN basically, get up in arms about it, saying all the technology that we have, all of the training therapists and everything that today's NBA has, where there's almost little to no back-to-backs anymore. There's no more, 4 games and 5 nights, and you're able to sleep in more and do all that kind of stuff. It will be interesting, and I think that you have a guy in Adam Silver that wants to say, if it makes sense, then we'll do it. And I don't know. I mean, I love the 82-game schedule. I don't see anything that's wrong with it. Richard Jefferson also brought up a point that, back in the day, you'd play the All-Star game, but you'd only get really 2 to 3 days off, and then you're playing again on a Wednesday after the All-Star game on Sunday. But now it's a week off for the All-Star game in this generation. So it's definitely just interesting to see how Adam Silver is going to play this. I know financially there's going to be a lot of talks between, the owners of the teams and the NBA Players Association. It's going to definitely be an interesting thing. I don't know if they should cut it down to 10 games because I feel like everybody enjoys the product. But if Adam Silver knows what's best, and if he thinks that cutting it down to 72 games and it limits the chances of guys getting injured or guys having to sit down because of load management, then, by all means, let's have a 72-game schedule. It's still, the same NBA. Just cut down by 10 games. But if you're asking RJ, oh, come on, suck it up. It's 82 games. Come on, guys. Let's get out on the floor. Let's play basketball.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. I love it. More basketball, the better for me. It was odd that I looked at it, and I'm like, man, training camp is going to be like in mid-September. Whoever wins this finals and whoever loses, the two teams, Boston and Golden State, are only going to have about 90 days of an off season. RJ, leave us with this. We got about 90 seconds to go. You are a big Laker fan. Darvin Ham, your new head coach. Are you happy? More importantly, do you think LeBron is happy with the hire?
This is definitely going to be interesting. I think that they got the best guy for the job. I mean, you've heard me, Hack, when we were talking about who should have been the next head coach for the Orlando Magic. I was bringing up Kenny Atkinson, and Kenny Atkinson was the guy that was being brought up as a name that could have been the Lakers head coach. Reports that Terry Stotts said that he could possibly make it work with Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and AD, but I think that they got a guy in Darvin Ham who he's paid his dues, and this is a guy that can help LeBron in this era, but then also help just the Lakers as an organization post-LeBron and potentially post-AD if AD decides that he doesn't want to be a Lakers fan. Also, news just came in, Hack, that the interesting thing is as well, Rasheed Wallace is going to be on the sideline for the Lakers as well, as he's going to be the assistant coach on Darvin Ham's coaching staff. So this is going to be a very interesting season for the Lakers. There's so many more questions. I have to believe that Darvin Ham is wondering what's going to happen with Russell Westbrook. What's his team going to look like? What's the game plan? But this is also a guy who has been in the Lakers, front office and on the sideline as a coach. I mean, he was under Phil Jackson, and this is a guy that understands basketball. He's been a part of winning teams. He's been a part of winning organizations. He won a championship as a player. So I think that the Lakers got a winner here. But he's also an unproven guy. He hasn't been a head coach in the league before, and that may bode well for him. But we have to see what he's going to do with three big names like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook. And if you're going to trade Westbrook, whatever you get in return for Russell Westbrook, now you got to figure out how you're going to make it work with LeBron and AD. This is going to be a very, very interesting season for the Lakers, but the clock is definitely ticking. So although Darvin can be happy that he's a new Lakers head coach, He has to know that the pressure is on there in Tinseltown, but I wish him all the best.
Boy, Rasheed Wallace being an assistant coach, my goodness, how many technicals is he going to get next season? Good grief.
Man, you're gonna hear a lot of ball don't lie on the sidelines. I think we're going to lead the league in coach technical fouls. Heck, I'm ready for it. So throw them fines out, NBA. Throw the fines out. You know we have Rasheed Wallace on the sideline.
R.J. Saunders, you had him right here on 1010XL for a couple of years. You now get him out in Houston, 97.5 Sports Radio in Houston, Texas. R.J., always enjoy the conversation, man. Let's do it again before the NBA draft, where hopefully my Orlando Magic do not mess up that number 1 pick. Always appreciate you, brother.
Hey, Hack, man, miss you guys, and thanks for always having me on.
Ever wonder how Dan and Jeff got hired at 1010XL?
About a talk show host. I think I'd be good at that.
The Drill.
I talk to people all the time.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Someone even told me once they thought I'd be a good talk show host. Really? Yeah, a couple of people.
Mornings on 1010XL.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the number 1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
The new way to sell your home with multiple cash offers. Go to highestprice.com. If you want to sell your home fast and for top dollar, enter your address and you'll receive multiple cash offers in less than 24 hours. No showings, no obligation at highestprice.com. highestprice.com.
Do you have glaucoma or high eye pressure? Dr. Rajesh Shetty of Florida Eye Specialists, alongside the East Coast Institute for Research, is conducting a clinical research study for subjects with glaucoma or high eye pressure. Qualified study participants will receive study-related eye exams at no cost and investigational medication over the course of about 12 months. Study participants may also be compensated up to $150 per visit for approximately 12 visits. If you're between 18 and 84 years old with glaucoma or high eye pressure, visit eastcoastresearch.net for more details. That's eastcoastresearch.net.
Hey there, my taco-loving sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou in Jax Beach. It's Tuesday, and to many of you, that means one thing: tacos. At Taco Lou, we feel like every day is Taco Tuesday, except Monday, which is what makes Tuesday special for us, too. We're back, you've been patient, and now it's time to dig in, crush some tacos, and wash it all down with a cold Dos Equis. Or sip a fantastic margarita while you grind. Come in and see what's new at Taco Lou. Taco Lou in Jax Beach.
Hey, it's Jeff Prosser. Are you feeling the sting of higher interest rates and higher costs? All those credit cards and other loans are costing more and more every month. Inflation making everything else more expensive. But listen, your home can save you right now. Your home value is up, and there's a ton of cash in it that you can access with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. That means you can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off all those 23% rate credit cards and other loans. Consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut $800 or more from their monthly budget, and even if your home mortgage rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. Call Loan Pronto now. Unlock that equity and wipe out bad debt. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. So call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Obviously, the summer temperatures are already here, and if you're like me, you want that oppressive Florida heat to stay outside the house. That's why I'm such a fan of Pella Windows and Doors. By now, we know that windows are the #1 way that heat gets in and the cold gets out. So when you're ready for the stylish design and energy efficiency that comes from Pella Windows and Doors, We invite you to visit their showroom on Phillips Highway next to Tesla or find them online at hellajacks.com.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
904-274-5522. QC Kinetics. 904-274-5522.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. The following program was pre-recorded.